So today I thought I would give you guys a tour of my spices and sauces drawer. I was going to do a pantry tour, but that's going to take forever and it's kind of a hot mess. And I thought it'd be fun because I'm always curious what kind of spices and herbs and sauces people use and what they have on hand. So I wanted to show you guys right now. This is where I cook, obviously. And when you cook and you're in the middle of a recipe, you want to be able to have access very quickly to the things that you need. And so my spice drawer is where it's at. This is so smart. I learned about this at IKEA, so I just had to do it when I built this house. And everything that I need is really in here. And so after this, I'll also show you what's in my sauce drawer. This is actually cooler than the spice drawer, in my opinion, just because normally you would put this somewhere else. But when you're cooking, you don't want to leave your dish. You want to be able to pay attention to your dish and just grab things. So if you ever get a chance to create one of these or build a house and design your kitchen, I highly suggest having your spice drawer and sauce drawer right next to your stove. Okay, what's inside of my spice drawer? I just wanted to show you, not every one, but the ones I use that are most common. I'm sure, like many of you guys, there's a lot of things in here that you don't use. So once a year, I do purge some of the spices that have lost some of their flavor because spices do lose flavor. You know, one of the things I love about Indian cooking is the fact that they use fresh spices. It makes such a huge difference. At least from the cooks I know in America, typically we'll keep spices forever. More and more, I'm trying to replenish my spices, replace them more often, especially if I don't use them. Back to the spice drawer tour. Salt. I love having multiple types of salt. This is my go-to. This is from Sur La Table, by the way, and it's a cool way of grinding your salt because it's a lever that goes back and forth. In fact, let me show you. It's pretty awesome. The same thing with the pepper. It's my go-to. I love these things. I'll put the links to these, but of course, everything starts with salt and pepper. I also have this salt that I bought at Pike Place Market. It's from San Juan Islands, which is cool. I didn't even know they made salt out there. And this is a sea salt. I always have fine salt on hand, and I have a whole bin of this, which I'll show you later inside of the pantry. Another ingredient that I'm using more and more right now is MSG. It got a bad rap forever, including with me, but after a lot of research, it's not that bad for you. So I use very little, but I use it along with salt. This just gives you that umami that is hard to get with just salt, and you get it with foods. I love white pepper. I prefer the freshly ground, so I'm gonna actually go to the next drawer here. I have this other grinder that's got white peppercorns because I prefer this for Asian dishes. I prefer this for Asian dishes. One of the nice things about white pepper, it blends into foods that you want to hide the pepper, so you don't want, you know, black specks on there. Naturally, I've got salts that I don't use. This was a gift from years ago. We're talking 10 plus years, but salt will last forever. One of these is just a gray sea salt. I believe this one is a smoked one, and then this is a alder. Let me see actually. Am I right? Yeah, alder smoked, as well as Hawaiian coral, I believe. Garlic powder, we always have a couple different bottles. We use this when we want to roast vegetables. Obviously, all kinds of different recipes, so it's a go-to. Bay leaf, if you cook Filipino foods, you know that this is a go-to. Somebody recently told me, Grant, at Chef Steps, that you should have fresh bay leaves. I've never used fresh, but I might try to grow a bush this year. So this is kind of weird. Black sesame seed. I don't have this really for the flavor. I have this more for the presentation. I like to sprinkle it on to my dish to give it a little bit of a cool look. So of course I could do it with black pepper, but this won't add as much of a flavor. So I sprinkle this on top of my ramen to just give it kind of a cool look, yeah? Everybody has to have crushed red pepper. I don't use this as often. I'm trying to use more chili oils or crushed garlic chili. The thing about this is you have to activate it. You can't just put it onto the food because it's gonna get spicier once you add some heat. This is one of those either gifts or Just been hanging out here, barely ever gets used. Maybe Judy bought it. I don't even know. Slap ya mama. What a weird name. Okay, so oregano, use it for a lot of dishes, including soups and Italian foods. I'll show you something we don't use very often. Curry, because when we make curry, we have curry bricks. Ground coriander, same thing. I don't use it very often. It's just there if we need it for something. Paprika, funny enough, we do use quite a bit, especially when I make my Nashville hot chicken. We use a ton of this. In fact, look, there's cayenne pepper. We also use that for Nashville hot chicken, which I should do one of these days. So we'll buy 2 or 3 bottles of this because we go through a lot of it. Celery seed, I do use that quite a bit, especially chicken salads. Dill weed, one of those spices that or herbs that just are here if we need it. Funny story, this right here. Rosemary. This is 20 years old. I should probably toss this. Okay, see, this is one of the good things about doing this. It's literally 20 years old, and I use fresh rosemary from the garden, so there you go. Purging. Ground ginger. This is great for baking. I use it for health drinks. Just a little bit of it. It's nice, especially if you don't have ginger on hand. Nutmeg. In fact, let me show you guys. I do fresh nutmeg, but it's nice if you don't want to grind it. This nutmeg I've had for a couple of years. I probably should replace it, but what I do is I take this guy, microplane, and I use this to grate the nutmeg. Moving on, cinnamon sticks, nutmegs, you know, for those holiday dishes when you want that. Pumpkin pie spice, I'm guessing my sister uses that because I'm not a big fan of pumpkin spice. More cinnamon. See, we're finding doubles. What happens is you think you don't have it, and then it's just hiding, so we'll have doubles, and it's all good. We'll eventually use it. Fennel. Yeah, I'm not kidding. This is 20 years old. I'm not going to throw away the bottle. I'm just going to toss what's inside of it and then replenish it when I need it because, again, fresh herbs, spices is the way to go. We always have these flavor packets for the different Filipino dishes that Judy makes. This is our tamarind soup base for sinigang. We do have a preferred brand. I think it's this one right here. And we're running low, so we might have to get some more. This Mamacita's adobo. I bought this and I thought maybe I'll use it one day. Tocino even, but I don't know when I would make tocino. I just buy it already prepared. But the adobo one, maybe we'll try it one of these days and see how it is. I'm all about pre-mixed seasonings because, you know, they know what they're doing. Some black sesame seeds. See, I buy in bulk and then I fill up the bottle for things that will hold a little bit longer. I don't even know what this is. I should probably find out or throw it out. And there's, see, these are, oh, look at this. This is Mama's fried garlic. I made this the other day for sinigang. I'm gonna treasure this. Keep that for a while. Use it for a special occasion. Oh, here's some mix. So sometimes I'll make my own mixes, and this is just one I made for some barbecue dish, and I'll save it. This is a fun one. Saffron. Really expensive. I definitely would not throw this out because it'll last quite a while. It's in this nice fancy glass bottle. I believe this will cost anywhere between 15 and maybe 25 bucks, especially with inflation. I do Persian rice sometimes, and I use this. I haven't done it in a while, but I should, because it's delicious. This is Matt's flaky salt. I don't know if he still sells it or not, but go to Spiceology, definitely support. It's great, I love it. I have a few bottles. Also, another thing that happens here, the sea salt and the pepper grinders that you see, it's probably because we bought them when we went to an Airbnb and we bring them back. So we just kind of use it when we need, or we pack it and bring it with us. This is some fancy salt. I don't even know what kind, but maybe I'll try it one of these days. Looks like it went bad. Probably should. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of that. I don't even know what it is. If I don't use it for 6 months, it's going to go to storage. If I don't use it for a year, probably should give it away. If not, throw it away. I think that's about it here. I was going to go ahead and move on to the oh, shit. Yep, that does happen. That does happen here. Here we go. I know this is probably stressing you guys out how messy this is. I plan on organizing all this when I get back because we're about to leave. The last one is togarashi. It's fun getting these different kinds. This one's, I guess, extra spicy. It's not as spicy as I thought it was going to be. I went and bought it on Amazon. I've been buying spices on Amazon more often. Oh, the one thing I forgot to mention is this. This is something new. I knew it was here. I just didn't really ever care to pick it up. Judy uses this for ariscaldo, so highly recommend this Knorr tomato and chicken bouillon. You know, when people do pantry tours, I wish they showed me all the ingredients, spices, and sauces that they use. Because it's so much more interesting than just what you store food-wise. What? Oh, you want me, what? You want me to hold you? Yeah, you just gotta wait, okay? I'm almost done. Okay, my favorite thing in this drawer is this. This is salt I got from Kauai. I got this 10 years ago, and I've been cherishing it. I apologize, the name rubbed off, but this is my favorite salt right here. And I don't use it often. I just use it, funny enough, in my Gatorades because there's some supposedly healing powers, but there's minerals in this that's good for the body. So there's a lagoon in Kauai that's private, only families have access. When I run out of this, I'm gonna be real sad. This is one of my favorite gifts I've ever received when it comes to food because it's very special and I don't think you can buy it. Cherish it. So whoever gave this to me, if you're watching this, I love this. Nutritional yeast. Matt bought this for the tomato soup, so I'm gonna start using it, but it's new to me. I'm not really that familiar. One of my favorite hot sauces, Valentina, the black label. That's the extra hot. That's the good one. That's what I grew up with. Tabasco. I use this on different dishes, but I like to add a splash into my spaghetti sauces and my pasta sauces just to give it tiny little kick without it being overpowering or too spicy. Soy sauce. Recently, I found out you're supposed to put this inside the fridge, but we go through it so quickly, it's not that big of a deal. It's salty, so it's preserved. Okay, these, I don't even know what these are. Okay, so this is sweet flour sauce. We use this and Leon Hao brand bean sauce in mabodofu, which is a tofu dish. We've got black bean sauce here, same thing. Sesame chili oil, mainly for ramen. Hoisin sauce, sesame oil. In fact, I have a whole canister of this, but I replenish it. I keep the small bottles and I use the big bottles of store and I just refill these as I'm done using them. Oyster sauce, tons of stir fries, Asian dishes that call for that. This Aji Mirin is not the same brand as what's on the label, but I have a big bottle in the garage and I just fill this up once I'm done. I like the small bottles, but I don't want to waste money on buying a small bottle. Constantly buying small bottles, so I buy a big one and I refill it. Rice vinegar, I use this for dips, a lot of dips, and then pickling. I don't know what this is. Somebody gave this to us. We haven't really used it very much. You know what? I think, is this Joanne when she cooked? I don't know if this is vegan or not, but it's here. So I should figure out what to do with it. Sake, we use this for a lot of Japanese dishes, believe it or not. It's inside of a lot of sauces and soup bases. Sriracha, you gotta have it. This chili bean sauce, same thing for mabodofu, some Chinese dishes. This is my favorite chili oil. I love this little bottle. Yeah, and there's some random stuff in here. I have a whole bunch of my oils. I always have olive oil and canola oil. This is vanilla. I don't know why it's in this section. It probably just got placed there. This is Szechuan peppercorns. Almost never use this, but if I ever need it, I've got it. I got a bigger bottle in the pantry. This is really good hot sauce. This is a local habanero hot sauce that I love. I buy it from the farmer's market every single summer. Back here is my collection of honeys. This is a box of honeycomb, and honey will last you forever, but we're almost done with this. And I believe I bought this in Japan years ago, so it's almost done. This is my go-to honey right now. Just a local honey. If you can, get the unfiltered raw stuff that is made locally. Support your small farmers, local businesses. White sesame seeds. I like to use this, crush it up, especially when I'm making sesame salad dressing. MSG will last you forever. So I take this big bag and I refill the small bottle that's in the spice drawer. When I went to the co-op, this is my jar of bee pollen. Very good for you, but you gotta be careful because just a few kernels of this is enough and it'll put you out if you're allergic or you get pollen allergies. But supposedly this is one of the most nutrient dense foods in nature, and I just have it. I sometimes a few times a year I take literally just 2 or 3 kernels and put that in whatever I'm eating. Here's some cloves. See, I probably bought this years ago and I bought it in bulk so I don't have to buy a whole bottle. It's way cheaper, and what's nice about the co-op, they have all these spices in bulk. One thing I'm gonna show you is this. This is the random sauces that don't fit over there because the bottles are too big. This is definitely one of our go-tos, the patis, which this is a fish sauce. Adds a lot of umami and hides in a lot of soups and even stews. You can use this for even more than just Asian cooking. We just have some jams here. This is a local company because this is where the girls grab their peanut butter. This is a Trader Joe's brand, as well as we got the good old Skippy. I've got a whole bunch of vinegars here. I do store a lot of my vinegars here. This is a balsamic vinegar. It's not really a nice one. I've got my Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Underrated sherry vinegar. If you want to give your tomato sauce for pasta a little bit of a natural umami, sherry vinegar. This is one of my secrets to my sauces, my Sunday sauces. Back here I've got some really nice balsamic vinegar. Don't mind the whatever those are. Looks like Pepto-Bismol or something like that. Just scoot over there. And then the rest is just medicines and vitamins. So there you go. Okay, so that was my spice / sauce drawer tour where I cook. I'm gonna do a full pantry tour a little bit later. Let me know, what's your favorite spices, salts, herbs that you like to stock up? And do you have an area where you store it right next to where you cook? A lot of people probably have a cabinet, but since I don't have any cabinets, these drawers are amazing. Shout out to IKEA for creating this because I love this concept and it saved me when I'm cooking a lot. Sorry I couldn't get to the full pantry, but I will do that tour when I get back and hopefully it's a lot cleaner.